Hello, my name is Sarah Hall, and I'm going to talk to you today about how my family does apple butter. So, it all started about 2 or 3 generations ago. My family started making apple butter. There used to be a very big apple orchard on one of the family's properties, which has long since been closed and cut down. But my family would, after all the sales came through, take the apples and they would turn them into apple butter at the end of the apple season, which is typically around the end of October for what it was. They took a few years to figure out the perfect ingredients with apples and some cinnamon and a whole bunch of other spices that are a whole big secret through the family that have been passed down from generation to generation. It's a 2-day process. The first day, you take the apples and you cut them all up so that they do not have the apple core anymore, and so that they are all chopped up into slices so that they can be taken to the next step, which is taking them to the boiling pots of water so that they can be cooked until they are very soft. From there, they are taken and put into an apple grinder that we have, which separates the apples from the apple skins and turns the apples into an applesauce-like consistency, which get put into very big containers. I believe they are ceramic, that will sit overnight until the following day. It usually takes a couple hours to get through all the apples, to cut them up and cook them and turn them into applesauce. Usually the bees really enjoy it too. Day 2 involves waking up at about 3 or 4 in the morning to create the fire, to put the cauldron on, to add the applesauce to, and some spices. From there is a large wooden spoon that will need to be taken to be stirred constantly. If it is not stirred constantly, then the bottom will burn and the rest of it will not cook correctly. As the apple sauce starts slowly turning into apple butter, you add more applesauce until there's none left from what you've created the first day, and then we will take more spices and we put it in until it's the correct consistency and the correct flavor for what we make. And this process takes about 9 to 10 hours. We are usually starting it in the dark and we'll finish mid-afternoon, sometimes in the evening. From there, we take it and we do a big long assembly line where it is a whole big process, step by step, from getting the apple butter from being in the cauldron to being done. Step by step, it is taking the applesauce from the cauldron to the jars, which then somebody will take and wipe them off so they are clean, and then someone else will add a little bit of cinnamon spices on top. The next person will add the lids and make sure that they're all clean. The next person will wipe the whole jar so there's no water or excess apple butter and applesauce and all the extra spices on it. And then the last person, usually a very strong guy in the group, will tighten it all up and make sure that they are sealed correctly. Once they're all sealed correctly, we will count them up. Typically, every year, we get about 100 to 150. From there, they get counted, and then we figure out how much it costs to get all the supplies, the apple, the firewood, all that other stuff, and we determine what the price is going to be, which then gets sold throughout the family. And typically people use them for Christmas presents for coworkers and friends and family. And for many, many years, the money that got earned from making the apple butter was what the family used to pay for all of the food for Thanksgiving. With the family being so large, it's 40 or 50 people who gather for Thanksgiving, it was a lot of money that needs to go in to make the food. So it was a big process, so this cut down on the costs. But it's fairly easy steps, and I hope you enjoyed.